When people think about Shadow the Hedgehog, one of the initial thoughts that comes to people's head is just slapping Sonic with a gun and making him edgy. If you are one of those people that do think about that when it comes to Shadow the Hedgehog, you are missing one crucial part of his character which solidifies him as one of the most well-written hedgehogs in all of Sonic. Hey guys, I'm DontDothatShi, and today we're going to be talking about why everyone misunderstands Shadow the Hedgehog. Now if you guys do like these type of videos, make sure to leave some love, leave a like and subscribe, and just like that, we are going to get right into this. Shadow's debut game was given to us in the game Sonic Adventure 2. We learn closely about Shadow's character as a doppelganger of Sonic, two different hedgehogs with two different backstories. We learn that Shadow was a project being created named the Ultimate Life Form. We learn that Shadow was created by someone called Gerald Robotnik, closely related to Eggman as his grandfather, and we learn that Shadow was created with the intent purpose to be a weapon of mass destruction. Gerald, finding this information from Gunn, implements morals and kindness into Shadow's program, such as protecting and being kind towards the world. And Shadow is met with a friend named Maria. Now Maria Robotnik is technically Eggman's cousin, funny to think about that, and Gerald Robotnik's granddaughter. She has been put on the Ark ship with Shadow and Gerald due to her genetic disease, which is more stabilized in lower gravity areas, hence why she is in space. We learn later on, as the advancement of Shadow is continuing, Gunn is starting to get fed up with Gerald's schemes and projects, so they send a mission, and that mission turns deadly. We notice, you notice, they finally shoot her. It's the death of Maria. The mission was to clear and kill all scientists on the Ark ship to erase the evidence of them ever doing such a thing, except for two people escaping. Shadow escapes while being saved by Maria before she meets her demise, and Gerald, finding that, also gets kidnapped by Gunn. Now he gets sent into an insane spiral and starts plotting the vengeance on the world, and implements that into Shadow if he is ever to be reawakened, to take vengeance on the earth for Maria. And we learn that Gerald Robotnik has made his own failsafe for when he is executed by Gunn to take care of the world if he is not there to do it himself. Already in Sonic Adventure 2, we see Shadow's character as compelling as someone that's misguided through revenge and grieving, and a character who has been manipulated by someone he saw as a father figure. Throughout the game, we see his conflict with Sonic and the whole gang back and forth as he makes new friends with Eggman and searches for his deep, and later on to the end of the game when they fight the massive bio lizard, which was the original Ultimate Life Form. But the difference between Shadow and the bio lizard is exponential. As Shadow is more compact and more freely moving, the original Ultimate Life Form has to be wired and is massive and irrational and erratic and lacks no proper conscience. They're kind of like brothers if you really think about it, in the dark twisted sense. As Super Sonic and Super Shadow both go to fight this bio lizard to save the end of the world, Shadow realizes that his purpose isn't for revenge, it is to save the world. Him realizing that, decides to make the ultimate sacrifice. Now Sega was initially going to let him be just a standalone character, and he was going to initially die in Adventure 2, but because the Sega fandom loves Shadow the Hedgehog so much, and they decided to implement him back into the mainline Sonic games, and he is introduced into new games such as Sonic 06. Okay guys, I know it's bad. Now what made Shadow's character so compelling in Sonic 06, he isn't just hell-bent on fighting Sonic. In matter of fact, in the whole of Sonic 06, he barely speaks to Sonic at all. He has his own team and shows leadership with Rouge and Omega. And the main plot of Sonic 06 is to show Shadow's character of he chooses his own path and he isn't driven by humanity's hate. In 06, Shadow learns that in the future humanity turns against him. He's shown a future where he's blamed, hunted and imprisoned. In most scenarios, most characters would become bitter and turn on the world himself, except for one character, and that character is Shadow the Hedgehog. In a scenario like that, most characters would become bitter and vengeful towards the rest of the world. But we see Shadow's character develop into something more than that. And one of the most infamous lines that he drops in this game is, "If the world chooses to become my enemy, I would fight like I always have." Now people do misconstrue that quote and take it as Shadow being vengeful against the world again and saying, I will just take it out on the world again. But what becomes the misconception is the last part, I will fight like I always have. He's referring to himself after the events of Sonic Adventure 2. He will fight like he always have. He is implying that he is going to fight no matter who hates him, because Shadow knows himself he's doing what is right because it is right. He doesn't repeat himself in Sonic Adventure 2, seeking a revenge and doing the same shenanigans. And that's what makes his story stronger as a character. Instead of going down to the same level he was, he grows. Now we see him in a few different games every now and then. We see him more every now and again in his own hit-like game, Shadow the Hedgehog, and in Sonic Heroes. We have seen him able to become more of a leader and a person. Shadow in the first game he was introduced to was more of a character that was more alone, kept by himself, and pushed himself away from other people. We learned in the more games he develops a liking to certain characters such as Rue and Omega. He feels like the leader of Team Dark in Sonic Heroes, not because he's loud, but because he's competent. His appearance in Heroes and his games show about his purpose and who he truly is as a person, and that's what makes him such a compelling character. They build up his story even more in the latest game of Sonic and Shadow Generations. We see Shadow still struggling with the effects of Maria and Gerald both dying in the limbo-like space where he's still able to communicate with the two, and he is still struggling to let go until the end of the game. After he defeats Devil Doom, he is able to finally come to terms of letting go and moving past this arc of Maria. And that's what makes Shadow a truly compelling character in the whole continuity of Sega. He isn't just some edgy hedgehog or someone who has daddy issues. He is a character who has grown so exponentially from his debut game that people are still so stuck on it and they still want him to be that character. But Sega has shown us that he is no longer the edgy hedgehog he never was to begin with. I think Shadow isn't cool because he's edgy. He's cool because he's one of the few Sonic characters who actually grows. That's what I think about Shadow's character. What do you guys think about Shadow? Do you think that he's a well-written character? Do you think he makes sense all around, or do you guys think there could be more that Sega could add on to him, or do you want to see him in more games? If you guys think that, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and just like that guys, DDS out.